What's up, everybody? Well, I got you guys another gameplay video today, and today we're going to be doing a request from OmniGod Goku, who I believe has been asking me to do this game for probably what is 2 months now, and they've been very patient, so I'm going to make them this custom video just for themselves. And if anybody else gets any usefulness out of this video, that's sweet. But don't worry, I'm still going to do this game and the rest of the monitors and resolutions too, but we're going to start off in Red Dead Redemption 2 on the laptop with everything on high except textures on ultra on the laptop itself, no external screen, and we're just going to see how it runs with those settings. And since that'll probably be a pretty short video, why don't we mess with some of the advanced settings too? We'll leave all the advanced settings off at first, do it exactly the way he wants, and then we'll turn all the advanced settings on to high as well, just to see if it's still playable, because that's where you can kind of get into trouble with Red Dead, just like GTA 5. Those were kind of settings that are there for, I believe, later graphics cards and whatnot. But this technically is a later graphics card. It's just stuck in a laptop. But anyway, enough rambling. I've been rambling for over a minute now. Let's get into the gameplay for this guy.
Alright, we're going to look at the graphics settings real quick here. Now, I'm going to do this a very specific way. It needs to be 1920 by 1080 on the laptop itself, ultra, texture quality, everything else on high. Oh, see, there's something I missed right there. So let's just go. There we go. And then I'll hit apply changes after I finish this little recording, and then we'll start. Here's the benchmark for everything on high, but texture quality on ultra, but with no advanced settings. 14 minimum for some reason, max 120, an average of 90. And alright, I think that's good enough. Now we can get into the gameplay. Alright. Get some gameplay, screen record gameplay anyway, of ultra textures with everything else on high, but no advanced settings. That way we can compare it to the same thing, but with advanced settings. That'll be kind of fun. Seagulls. I have a bounty here. Alright, we'll just run around here, following this train. We'll just follow it out of town. Yes, I'm trying to make a video. I'm trying to get past this damn train. Alright, let's try to squeeze through here, I guess. I don't know if we can get through here.
Final warning, for you regret the day you crossed me.
Out of my way. Man, that guy got some distance. Alright, now we'll just run in front of this train and hope it doesn't hit me. They're investigating me and my criminal activities. Keep on going down here. It seems like my wanted is just about gone. Alright. I'm sure my bounty went up. I have a bounty here too. Bounties everywhere. Keep on running down the tracks, just like we have done. Sounds like that train is hot on my ass, though. But I need to get over these. Come on, horse. That train is getting really close. There's like a rainbow over there. Alright, let's get out of the train's way.
Whoa, none of that.
Go over on this side. There it is. Go through all these trees and stuff. Get over here out of that one guy's sight, because he said he's gonna kill me next time he sees me. On the back caboose thing there. But alright, I'd say that's pretty good. Now we can move to some camera recorded gameplay.
Alright, camera recorded portion now. I kind of just ran down some tracks, that way we could go from the hardest place in the game to run into some nature and a little bit of swamp. Now we're going to head back the same way we came, that way the test is relatively similar from screen and camera recording. But man, this game runs smooth as could be. This is an excellent experience at these graphic settings. So, if you want to get this laptop to play Red Dead, it's great. I'm sitting really far away from the laptop screen right now, technically sitting in front of where I would be gaming if I were using my ultra-wide monitor. And yeah, I still have no problem seeing like these little bunnies, or like those leaves in the sky. I'm pretty confident if I got into a firefight, I could easily shoot people in the face from a really far distance. And I'm not even sitting optimally. I guess is my whole point. So if I were sitting optimally, this screen would be more than big enough to see. I mean, honestly, I got this laptop mostly to play competitive games like Warzone and Counter-Strike. What are some other ones we play? There's some other ones we play. Valorant's another one I got them finally into, because it's very similar to the old Counter-Strike, only with like skills and stuff, so that's pretty neat. Now, hopefully a train doesn't come up behind me and just slaughter me on this small little trestle, but I don't want to run through the mud and have my horse get stuck in the mud. I don't even know if that's possible, but I don't want to test that. Alright, we're starting to come back towards DeSantis, which is the hardest place in the game to run. Lots of people. So CPU works pretty hard in there too. Oh, and I will turn my cooling pad off. I've got my cooling pad running right now. That way you can get a good noise test. I'll do that at the end of the camera recording gameplay before I move on to the next graphic setting where I turn on the advanced settings. That way you can, see how loud the system sounds. And then also, before I end the video, I'll also show you how far away the laptop is from the router. And it still gets excellent signal. But we were dropping under 60 ever so slightly in DeSantis, at least while we were screen recording, but screen recording always takes some FPS, almost in every single game. There's a couple games where it doesn't seem to do much, but most games it takes 10-15 FPS away. Or 5 at the very least. I think we're starting to get to that point where we were getting into like the 55s, 56s. while I was recording. Let's see if we drop down to those, well, camera recording. I don't think we will. I think we're going to stay in the 60s. But we'll see. I think it was right around this bend is where we started getting pretty terrible FPS while recording the screen. Well, not even terrible, but just less than 60. Y'all know me. I really like to stay above 60. I do not like going below 60. And hell, after having all these high refresh rate monitors, I'd really like to stay above 100 in competitive games. But games like this, I don't really need to have 150 FPS. I'd rather have the eye candy, you know what I'm saying? Well, so far so good, we're in the 70s. And this is another example of why I like doing both camera and screen record. That way you can also get, not only does it nullify the FPS hit of screen recording, but it kind of just shows you what it's like to use the laptop too. Now we went under 70, so we're down to 69 noise. Let's see. Let's run on all the way through here. We got down to 63 so far as I think the lowest. It's not like I've only been looking at the FPS bar though. Also enjoying the eye candy. Yeah, this is a damn good looking game. Even to this day. I mean, look at that water. That water looks almost photorealistic. Absolutely crazy. Alright, well, I'll get to the end of this little trestle. And then we will get a quick sound test. We'll turn the cooling pad off and get a quick sound test so we can see how loud the laptop sounds. But it's pretty noisy. Most gaming laptops are. I've yet to hear one that's quiet. Alright. There we go. And now let's see how it sounds.
Okay, and now in this one we're going to do same thing as before, like the person requested. However, we're going to add the additional advanced settings as well. So I figured I would set all of those to high, besides stuff like motion blur and MSAA. The game doesn't like that stuff. But alright, let's move on. So here's what the game got with advanced settings on high, with the textures on ultra, with everything else on high. Got a minimum of 56, a maximum of 119, and an average of 91. So that is much more reasonable. That's more of what I was expecting. But alright, now let's move on to some gameplay. Alright. Some screen recorded 1080p, ultra textures, everything else on high. But we've also added in advanced settings and put all of them on high. Let's go through the water real quick. Oh, there's an alligator over there. Don't want to get too close to those or my horse will freak out on me and buck me off. And then I'll probably, with my luck, get eaten by an alligator. And then I'll have to start the whole video over again. I don't want to have to do that. Alright, let's start heading back down the tracks. Back towards town here. Or wait. Oh, I'm glad I noticed that. We were going the wrong way. I was like, why don't I see smokestacks in the distance? I should see some smokestacks here. So alright, we'll just take the tracks just like we did before. And all the other little run-throughs of this town. This is still one of the best looking games that I have seen. And this is kind of the beauty of a 1080p screen. On a little laptop like this, you can turn everything up to the maximum and still get really good frame rates. And it still looks great. But I'm pretty sure that this laptop's powerful enough to do this game at 1440p as well. And it can probably do ultra-wide pretty well, too, with the right settings. But 4K, I don't know. This game might be too much to do, like, maxed out. But it can probably do 4K, too. Just have to tone the settings down here and there. But this laptop was never supposed to be a 4K laptop by any means. It's only ever sold with a 1440p screen, a 1080p screen, but it's got 12 gigs of VRAM, so Figure might as well try 4K, because might be people that like gaming on their TV with their laptop. So, I'm here to show them if the thing can do it or not. I'm honestly surprised that I haven't gotten hit by a train yet. In this game when I would play, not like screen recording or anything, just playing by myself, just for fun, I would get hit by trains so often. Because I would like to run around on the rails just to get from town to town, bring less bandits that way. But then I would just kind of not pay attention, and the next thing I know, oh, what's that sound? Boom, get hit by a train. Sometimes they'll slow down for you, but not all the time. Alright, let's get over these trestles again. See if luck will keep going and not get hit by a train. Figured that would be ironic. I was just talking about it. Now would be the time it happens. At least right back there I could have gone off to the side right quick, but I don't even know if my horse would jump off the side of this. Probably just be like, nah man, I ain't doing that, and then I'll just get hit. Ooh, turkey. Hello, turkey. You could even hear it gobbling. They got nature sounds real good in this game. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that thing either, horse. Alright, let's proceed. Alright, now we will move to some camera.
Okay, so now doing a little camera gameplay with everything on high and textures on ultra, but with all the advanced settings on high as well. But yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look at the settings again, because with more settings we're getting way higher FPS than we were before. I think we got like 75 in the first test, and then I averaged like 90 something FPS with all these settings turned on, so somehow, some way, ultra settings must have gotten turned on. Because there's no way we should be getting more FPS now than we were before. So I'm gonna go back and redo that test real quick after I'm done with this, just to be extra thorough. I don't want to say I did what the guy wanted and then be like, no you didn't. Gonna have to let my horse rest though. I think it's getting low on energy. But yeah, runs real good with these settings. Even with advanced settings, look at that. 90 FPS. I mean, we're not in town yet, so it's obviously going to drop a little once we get there, but we're doing much better than we were before. Which definitely leads me to believe that something was not right with the settings. I don't know how they got changed between doing the benchmark and going into the game, but somehow, or heck, somehow, what I'm betting happened is I changed all of them and then changed something else, and then when I hit accept, it probably only did one of the changes and put everything else back to Ultra, and then I sat there thinking, oh, well, everything must be good, let's just start the benchmark. I should have gone back in and double-checked. Because when I went back in to do this test and put all the advanced settings on, everything was on Ultra. So that's what led me to believe that. So, once we're done running through here, we will go and double-check those settings and run through one more time. This is going to be a pretty long video, but I'm sure the guy won't mind. I'm sure he just wants to see this game run thoroughly through, so he'll know whether or not this laptop can handle what he wants. Yep, even with a cooling pad, it's pushing my stuff up into the 80s here. My CPU. But we're getting up to 40-50% utilization here. That's why I said DeSantis has lots of people walking around, so that's a good test for your CPU and GPU here. That's why I like coming in here. That, and it's pretty much a worst case scenario. If you can get acceptable frame rates here, you'll get acceptable frame rates throughout the entirety of the game. And we're still in the 90s running through town. High 80s into the 90s, so yeah, this is just freaking great. Which makes me think we're probably going to get close to average of 100 once I turn the advanced settings off and where we do this properly. Obviously we'll find out when all is said and done, but I am betting some fishy business happened, because this does not make sense. Great looking game though. Heck, I'm not gonna lie, ever since I got my OLED, I've been kind of thinking about replaying it again. But I've got so many other new games to play, it's kind of on the back burner. I still got Guardians and a bunch of other games to play. I gotta beat Final Fantasy VII Remake on PC. I'm pretty close to beating it on PS4, but, or not PS4, PS5, but let's see if a bunch of bandits are going to want to try to kill me when I get to the end of here again. That's what happened during my first playthrough here. I went to go do the noise test, and instead of doing a noise test, I got a bunch of people trying to shoot me. So just in case, I'm getting both my guns out this time. I only had one gun out that time. It was right here. I stopped here to rest and end the video, and then next thing I know, I got a bunch of people trying to shoot at me. But, alright, let's move on.
Alright, so, something got messed up here, and this is the average for FPS and maximum minimum of Ultra settings, with pretty much everything on Ultra. So, we're getting that as a bonus. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. So, just take it as a plus for more data. But now let's move on to gameplay. Alright. So, this is the game on Ultra. Everything maxed. But, no advanced settings. At first I had thought this was going to be high settings with Ultra textures, but once I got done with the benchmark I was like, hold on, wait a minute, that seems like way too low FPS compared to what I was getting. I swear I was getting like 90 FPS or 85 FPS or something like that on high. But then I find out that this is Ultra quality, so we're getting this as a bonus. So let's see how the game performs on Ultra.
Okay, boy.
Sun rays are ultra realistic, that's for sure. Just keep on running down these tracks. Keep it the same as all the rest of the tests that we've done. That way you can see the frame rate differences. No matter what, when we're recording around here, it seems like we drop under 60, but as you will see from all of the camera recorded gameplay, we pretty much never drop below 60. We get close on Ultra, but that's it. After that, it's nowhere near dropping. Most of the time, we're in the high 70s and the 80s. Sometimes even in the 90s. Alright, we're gonna start cruising out of town to get some more naturey stuff. So there's the town, we got a cool little river over there, some boats doing their thing. Steamboats, nonetheless. Alright, just keep on running down the tracks. Hopefully I don't get hit by a train, but I would hope that I could hear the train, but you never know in games like this. There's some kind of mill or something. There's some swampland over here to our right. Some fields and what have you to the left. Go across this little trestle here. This is the part where I really hope a train isn't coming, because there's not a lot of places for me to go. I mean, I guess I could abandon my horse and jump off, but who wants to abandon their horse and let it get hit by a train? Man, this is a long trestle. There's an alligator over there to our left. Lots of herrings, even one in the water, too. All sorts of herons. Herons and alligators all over the place. I think my horse is getting irritated. Just kind of walk around a little bit. Let's keep on going down the way a little more, though. We haven't quite hit our 5-minute mark yet. I want to be very thorough with all the gameplay here. So it's probably going to be a long video, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. And I'm still going to do, you know, the regular tests of Red Dead Redemption on all the different low to high and all that stuff, and all the different resolutions still too. This is just a special video for someone who has been patiently waiting. Man, a lot of deer around here. Out of my way, trees. It's pretty cool how, like, even the little, like, stuff on the ground, like, moves out of the way of the horse. Not perfect, but still pretty neat. They put a lot of attention to detail into this game. Alright, let's get underneath this bridge. This will be, like, the finish line, I guess. And with that, let's move on to some camera gameplay.
Alright, camera gameplay with everything on high this time for sure. Yep, so I guess somehow, like I thought, before I started doing any more of the video, I went and turned everything to Ultra, redid the benchmark, and yes, somehow, some way, I did everything on Ultra first. Even though I turned everything to high, and you saw it in that first video that I showed, somehow it got turned to Ultra. So, now we're just going to do this real quick because this is what the guy actually wanted. That would have made me irritated if I had thought I did exactly what the guy wanted, you know, been all happy, and then he's like, well, what the hell? How'd you get more FPS when you turned more settings on? And I would have to be like, I don't know. But I figured it out and solved the problem before there was even a problem. So he even got a bonus of how the laptop runs ultra settings. So I'd say that's a plus more than anything. Makes the video a little longer, but like I said previously, I'm sure they would rather see as many different gameplays of how this thing plays this game as they can before they make a $1,000 purchase of a laptop. So now, unfortunately, the people of DeSantis are kind of pissed off at me. I kept on getting really close to the train, and then the dude at the train tried to like point a gun at me, even though I wasn't honestly going to rob the train. So then I had to run away, and then when I ran away, I kind of sort of ran a couple people over with my horse. So yeah, that's a little frowned upon. Who would have thought? Honestly, though, it doesn't really get that much worse frames or better frames than it did with all the advanced settings on. So that's kind of cool. You can play with the textures on Ultra, and then you can also turn everything to high and have the benefit of having all of the advanced settings on high as well. I honestly thought it was going to turn it into like a 40 FPS slideshow, but I was pleasantly surprised. This laptop is absolutely beastly. And now there's newer laptops coming out that are going to be even better than this, making this laptop even cheaper, making it even a better deal. Although, some of these new laptops are also going to have MUX switches, so that alone right there might be worth it over this laptop to some people to spend the extra money, and that's honestly what I'd recommend to do. If I could go back and do it again, I would like it to be exactly the way it is right now, but just have an MUX switch. So, my next laptop, I'm going to make sure I get one with one of those. That way I don't have to hook it up to an external monitor just to get 100% of what the GPU can do. Don't get me wrong, it's still extra powerful even without that. But it's just kind of dumb to have it nerfed for probably what's a $30 part. I get that's huge in terms of production and whatnot, but I feel like their fans would have been happier spending like $17.50 on the laptop versus $16.50 and then have it just include an MUX switch. That's just my opinion though. Man, this game's so pretty. Nice sunset. What a great way to pretty much end the video. Once we get to the end here, I'm gonna go to show how far away the router is and do a quick speed test. Just to show what the laptop can do. And then we'll call this video done. It's already getting pretty long. It's probably almost like a 30-40 minute video at this point. And alright. Let's call it right there and go do this Wi-Fi stuff. Alright, let me try this again. I tried to do a sound test, but a bunch of bandits came and killed me. Unfortunately, they shot my horse and killed him, so I wasn't able to get away. And then I almost killed the last guy, but then he killed me with a random stray bullet. Got super lucky. But anyway, now for like 20 seconds, I'm just gonna shut up. I've turned the cooling pad down to basically 20%, just enough to give the laptop some cool air, but not enough to interfere with the noise. So I'm gonna shut up right now. Alright, and that should be a good enough sound test. It's pretty loud, but not the loudest thing in the world. I've heard gaming laptops that are way louder, like my friend's Omen, for example. But
alright, now for our speed test, we got 14 ping, 426.83 down, and 28.75 up. And I have gigabit internet with 35 megs up. So we almost maxed out our upload, and we got pretty decent download considering where we are. And now we will go get a comparison of the Wi-Fi speed of the computer next to me. Then we'll go see how far away the router is from the laptop and this other desktop. Okay. Now for the desktop, we got 24 ping, 582.90 down, and 27.74 up. So the laptop beat it in upload and ping, but the desktop beat it in download. But it has a giant antenna on top of it, so not really apples to apples. I think the laptop did pretty good considering its antennas are just wherever they are in the laptop. That doesn't have like its own little antenna coming out of the top of it like my desktop does. But anyway, let us move on.
alright, gotta take you guys off of the little tripod, so sorry if the camera's a little shaky, but this is where the laptop normally resides. It just kind of sits over in this corner of my room. Normally it's hooked up to this ultra wide, but I just got done doing Red Dead Redemption tests, so that's just on the laptop monitor, so all that's off right now. And then this is where the secondary desktop resides. So see, like I was saying, it's got an antenna and everything on it, so not exactly a fair test, but I still think the laptop did pretty good considering it's a laptop. Now, as for where the router is, I'll just cruise on through here into my game room, and there it is, back there in the corner. Perhaps not the best place in the world for a router, but I need it because most of my stuff's hardwired to it. I don't usually like Wi-Fi. Got no choice in the other room. I'm not about to smash holes in the walls just to put a couple cords through. Nor am I going to run a bunch of cords out through the hallway into my bedroom. That would be even messier looking than it already is with all these wires coming out of it, going all over my floor. But I don't really care. I'd rather have the performance of wired internet, especially since I have gigabit internet. I would say it's about time to wrap this video up. So let's go put this back on the tripod and wrap this one up. Well, alright, that's about it for this video. Hopefully I answered all the questions that were asked of me, and I think the laptop does exceptional at Red Dead Redemption 2. Even on Ultra, it was giving me above 60 FPS most of the time, except for when I was screen recording. But I think Ultra, textures, and high everything else is the way to go, with all the advanced settings turned on, with high settings on all of that as well. That seems to be the best way to play. That looked absolutely great. But anyway, hopefully you, the guy who wanted this got what he wanted out of it, and hopefully everyone else enjoyed this video too. So, till the next video, peace out, guys.